G'day guys, I'm Matt Brand, and this is the 2021 Kia Picanto. No joke, the Kia Picanto is probably my favorite car. All right, that might be a bit of an overstatement, but it's actually genuinely up there. Yes, a sub $20,000 car is one of my all-time favorites. Today, I'm setting myself a challenge to convince you that this should be one of your favorites as well. Now, if you are new around here, please do go down there and hit the subscribe button. I release an awesome new car review every single week. And if you do enjoy the video, of course, like the video. It really helps small content creators like me. And for your benefit as well, I've put down some timestamps in the description below. So do go down there if you do want to skip ahead, although I recommend watching the entire video. All right, let's just get straight into it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think the Kia Picanto is the best looking micro car you can buy. And this facelift only makes it better. First of all, it looks like a shark, and that's a good thing. I think it's a very aggressive, sporty, sleek look, and they didn't have much of a canvas to work with, but Kia have done a fantastic job. It is a bloody feat of design, if you ask me. I love the headlights. They are new for this 2021 model, and I think that they look fantastic. Why? Well, I love the daytime running lights. They really suit the front, and they're in line with the rest of Kia's design language. And then there are the halogen projector beams, which are nice. They're bright-ish. They're good enough. Tiger Nose grille is a new addition. It's similar, but it's even more tiger nosy. Down the bottom is a redesigned front bumper. Excuse me here, let's get it to 100. Oh, so close. And we're there, we made it. Oh, I love this car. As I said, I just love the front. I think it's such a cool looking micro car. This is a micro car. They've made it look this cool. That's a feat. Then there is the side, which is pretty good. Can we appreciate the fact that the side is like 95% door? Seriously, the doors take up the vast majority of the side of the car, but that's great for practicality, as we'll see. Down the bottom is a chrome strip, and then you'll see the 16-inch alloy wheels, which are a completely new design for this facelift, but I actually kind of liked the previous design of the pre-facelift, but whatever, they still look good. And then we have the rear, and here I have mixed feelings. I think it looks great, actually, but there is a big omission, and that was the removal of the real dual exhaust tips down the bottom. Instead, now they're fake plastic things meant to look like exhaust tips when they're clearly not. I hate that, you know, I hate it that it moved away from something so real, and even though there wasn't much function to it, it was fun. It's a shame, really. Everything else about the rear of the Picanto is still class leading. For example, the rear taillights. Wow, they look so good. Now they're like a squiggly line from what was like a rectangular sort of design. But the LEDs, they're bright, and I would never expect LEDs on a sub $20,000 car, but you get it. And then the bumper again has a new design. Nothing too extraordinary, but it looks good nonetheless. And of course, down the bottom, guess what? You have a chrome strip. Overall, I love the Kia Picanto's looks. I think it is the best looking micro car you can buy. And I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me. It's just like next level good design. Looks are subjective, but this is like objectively a good looking car. But what do you think looks better? Do you prefer the looks of this 2021 Kia Picanto, or do you prefer the looks of the 2021 Suzuki Swift, which is about the same price for the base model? I'm curious to know what you guys think, so do go down there and cast your votes now. Now let's move on to the interior, and I want to start with the overall look, layout, and feel. A lot of reviewers slam these economy cars for having a cheap interior, but that's why they're economy cars. It's in the name. But let me tell you, the cabin look is incredible within here. Absolutely incredible. It's so premium looking for the class. Yes, there's lots of hard, scratchy plastics, well, everywhere, but that's not unexpected. And at least they've tried to make these hard plastics look like fake leather. Well, at least they're premium looking. But where it matters, you do have soft touch materials. For example, the armrest, the center console, the steering wheel is, of course, very lovely. And the gear selector is leather wrapped. Touches they didn't have to do, but they have. Don't forget, guys, this is one of the cheapest new cars you can buy in Australia. And in terms of design, there's red stitching and highlights all around the cabin. It's a cool place to be. In terms of ergonomics and practicality, well, ergonomics are okay, and they're only okay for reasons you probably aren't expecting. I actually have plenty of space around me. It's more so that the steering wheel is tilting, but it's not telescoping, so it's hard to get into a great position. I find myself sitting closer to the pedals than I would prefer just to be able to hold on to the steering wheel. Speaking of, the seat is very adjustable, but it is manually adjusting, and like, that's not the end of the world at all, but I don't know, it's the steering wheel that's the biggest issue. It's not horrible, it's just, it could be better. Again, economy. In terms of I/O, there is a 12-volt socket, a USB port, all of which I'm very happy with. And you know Kia care about practicality when they've got things like hideaway cup holders so you can use it as a storage space. In total up front, you have 4 cup holders, 2 here, 2 in the doors. You have a little storage area for your phone. Of course, the glove box it's a decent size, and even though this center armrest is probably the smallest in the industry, at least it has one. I can't tell you how many micro competitors don't actually get an armrest. They're an optional extra. Comes as standard. That's awesome. So how about these seats? Well, these seats are the same as last year's Kia Picanto, and I really like them. First of all, the seats are a faux leather, and you don't get that in its price point. Usually they're just completely cloth, but at least these are trying to be premium, and they could almost fool you. They're pretty comfortable. They're nothing insanely spectacular. I do wish they did have lumbar support, because I can already feel my lumbar, it wants to be supported. But this is a city car. It's not really meant to go for longer journeys, so I'm not gonna harp on about that too much. But I do like the overall design of the seats, and they do the job. What about this steering wheel? Well, can I just say that this steering wheel does not deserve to be in this car. It is so nice in the hands. The leather is fantastic quality. There's red stitching within it, which looks insanely good. It's really sporty, and then it's so functional too. On the left-hand side, you have your phone controls and your media controls. On the right-hand side, you have your cruise controls, and you also have your instrument cluster digital screen controls. This is the same kind of steering wheel that you'd find on a Kia Stinger. It's insane. Moving on to the instrument cluster, and yes guys, we did it. We got a digital speed reader. New for the 2021 is this LCD display, which is actually colorful now versus the black and white kind of 1990s pixelated garbage you got in the last Kia Picanto, and oh, it's awesome. Even though there isn't a huge amount of information on it, it's got the digital speed reader. No longer guessing at where the needle is on the analog dials, it's right in front of you. Speaking of analog dials, they're bright, they're easy to read. I always like those, but oh man, I'm so happy we now have this digital speed reader. That was my biggest complaint of the last Kia Picanto, my #1 complaint. So that goes to show you how good it was, and now it's perfect. And not quite, but it's close. You know what else is a major upgrade for this 2021? It's this 8-inch infotainment screen. Man, I'm so happy to see this. So the last one was actually totally fine. It was a 7-inch unit, and it was functional enough. This has the same functionality, but just takes it up a notch. So here are a few of the upgrades. First of all, it's now an 8-inch display, as I said. The graphics are really sharp. Even though the last graphics were totally fine, this just takes it to a whole other level. Although it doesn't have navigation or digital radio, it doesn't matter, especially in a sub $20,000 car, because it still has Android Auto, and now it adds wireless Apple CarPlay, and it's so responsive to the touch. It's just perfect. So happy. It's so good. Also, the button layout is easy, intuitive to use, and connected to it are 4 speakers and 2 tweeters, which it's not given enough praise. At this kind of price point, like in a Suzuki, you get 2 speakers, they sound awful. In this one, you actually get a decent sound system. And then there are the air conditioning controls, and well, they're not great. It's not uncommon for an economy car to have completely analog air conditioning controls, but that's what they are, completely analog, and they do cheapen the interior a bit, but oh, it's so not, I don't care. All right, let's move on to rear seats now. And the rear seats are made of the same really nice faux leather material as the front. It's a comfortable enough place to be. In terms of legroom, if I compromise and put my driver's seat forward, I can fit behind myself. And thanks to the boxy design of the Picanto, I do have enough headroom too. In fact, more than enough. It's really good. In terms of practicality back there, well, you don't really get anything. There's no air vents, there's no USB chargers, 12-volt sockets, nothing like that. But again, it's an economy micro car. What do you expect? I'm certainly not mad. It's an arm's reach to the front if you really need those things. Literally. In terms of boot space, it's surprisingly good. You actually get 255 liters of boot space, which is almost class leading for the micro segment. Very good. Now, in terms of how it drives, I've brought this Kia Picanto into its element. I'm city driving at the moment. This is the GT line, so you do get the 1.3 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine, and it pumps out 62 kilowatt of power and 122 newton meters of torque. Excuse me while I beat this cyclist off the line. 60 kilometers an hour. Oh, I beat him. Now, I have previously reviewed the Kia Picanto GT, which comes with the 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that one to test because there have been production delays, so they're not out yet, but as soon as it comes, I will get my hands on it. By the way, the GT is due sometime around December of this year, so make sure you subscribe for that. But I can say there isn't actually a huge noticeable difference between the two. The 4-cylinder has enough get up and go. You know, you really do have to ring it through the gears, but I had to do that for the 3-cylinder turbocharged anyway. The 0 to 100 kilometer an hour or 0 to 62 miles per hour is wait for it. Almost there. It's 13.2 seconds. Also, yeah, it's not a fast car at all, but oh, I love it. I have so much fun. Oh, why can't every car be this fun? Now, at 13.2 seconds, yes, it's slow, but it doesn't feel slow, and it's so much fun just ripping through the gears. As I said in my GT review, the Kia Picanto is not a fast car, but it is a fun car. That's what you get. You get such a fun little machine, and it's so engaging to drive. I literally just dropped off an i30N, and honestly, I might be having more fun in this. It really brings you back to basics, just rowing through the gears. It's a lot of fun. In terms of suspension, it's really well tuned. It just glides over bumps, and I was really surprised because I had watched a couple of other reviewers' videos and they said it's a bit stiff. It's not stiff at all. In fact, I'm really surprised by just how comfortable it is. Sure, it's not going to be the best dampened suspension in the world, but it does a fantastic job. Okay, so it's not fast in a straight line, but in terms of handling, boy, is it good. In fact, this could be class leading. It is so direct. Where you point it, it just goes. Honestly, the steering is it's just so good. It's really, really good. There's a little bit of play in the steering wheel, but nothing unexpected for a micro car. It's very direct. I really like it, especially the turning circle. It's really tight. And then there is fuel economy, which is actually pretty good. Right now, I'm averaging 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers, but to be fair, I've been doing mostly highway driving, so for a lot of you out there, you'll probably see somewhere around the 7s, potentially up to 8. Hopefully not more than that. It's pretty fuel efficient, though it's worth noting if you want an even more fuel efficient Picanto, well, the GT will be right for you because that gets a combined rating of like 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which will beat out this pretty thirsty 4-cylinder any day of the week. So is the 2021 Kia Picanto worth it? Well, the Kia Picanto starts at 16,490 Australian dollars drive away. Now that is for the S model, and I don't recommend that. You do lose out on some of the nice amenities within the interior, and the exterior just, it looks very bland. Get yourself the GT line, which is $1,500 more at 17,990 drive away for this manual, and absolutely 100% can I recommend it. Honestly, it is one of the best value cars you can buy on the market. First of all, it has a 7-year warranty. Unbeatable. Second of all, it's so much fun. I can't describe it. Even showing you here, it's so much fun to drive. And third of all, well, I don't know, I'm just going to reiterate the point that it's a great car. Seriously, if you're looking to get yourself into a Kia Picanto, do it. Just do it. You won't regret it. I love it. I love it to bits. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, do go down there and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button as well. It really, really helps the channel out. And comment down below, what do you think of the Kia Picanto? Click over there if you want to watch my review of the pre-facelift GT. It has the same engine as they'll be getting in the GT. Great car. And I'll see you next week.